Welcome back, YouTube community. Welcome back to the Emperor Atheist channel with your host, the Emperor Atheist with the most. I told y'all in my last video that I was going to go at Quranic exegesis with a different approach too. Same as I'm doing with the New Testament and the doctrine of errancy and the textual variants and the textual criticisms and the problematic things with the New Testament. I'm going to do the same thing with the Quran. Instead of just pointing out that Prophet Muhammad was a pedophile, which he was. So I'm just going to go at the approach of the text of the Quran and a lot of the myths, and particularly in this particular video, talking about the Jinn. Okay, the Jinn being a being that they believed in was this magical, invisible being that was made of smokeless fire, according to Islamic legend and Quranic legend. Made of smokeless fire, could be either bad or good or neutral, and it was a lesser being than you would say, lesser than what they would consider in religious theology, rather Christianity or Islam. It would be considered lesser than angels or demons. A lot of the things that you would find in this particular subject of Jinn, you could actually read in a lot of pre-Islamic writings, because this particular myth actually preceded Islam, Muhammad, and this creation of the Quran, but it crept its way in it, and it's a common thing. Why? Of course, why Muhammad used, just like he used a lot of Christian apocrypha that I pointed out time and time again in previous videos, how the Quran was basically created off Christian apocrypha and other mythological things. But the same thing with this particular jinn. The Quran talks about this jinn. It even speaks about different types of jinns in the Quran, as it speaks of different types of jinns in pre-Islamic mythological folklore. You have the Ifrit, which is considered a big jinn. Then you have what is called a Marid, as a type of jinn, smaller type jinn. There are different types of jinn. But in this particular video that I'm going to play in a few minutes by this Muslim scholar, he says he's talking about jinns possessing people. And he said that these jinns can possess people. They fall in love with you, and they possess women. He doesn't mention anything about the female jinns, although legend says that there are female jinns, but he says nothing about female jinns. He just speaks about male jinns and how they can possess female jinns. I mean, how they can possess human females, Muslim sisters, and it's ridiculous. I'm going to let y'all listen to it, and I'll let y'all judge and see if this is real or not, or what y'all think about this nonsense. But he's speaking about the jinn, and like I said, there's a major history, a mythical history about this particular being. There's a real popular writing called the Arabian Nights in English, but it's known in Arabic as the Alf Layla wa Layla, which means 1001 nights. But in English, it's considered Arabian Nights. As a matter of fact, a lot of things that a lot of you may be familiar with, stories like Aladdin and or Sinbad, the 7 Voyages of Sinbad. These are all things that have been connected with the particular Arabian Nights, even though they were added later by European writers. But all of these things have been considered a part of this collection, because the Arabian Nights, or what I said, the 1001 Nights, the Alf Layla wa Layla, was a collection of folktale and Arabian folktale over a period of time. It wasn't just one book written by one particular author. So this particular jinn is a belief of Muslims. They believe that the jinn is real. They believe that the jinn causes disease. They believe that the jinn can do all type of mystical things. They believe that the jinn escapes space and time, just like God. So it's a strange belief, but I want y'all to listen to this guy, this particular Islamic scholar. It sounds ridiculous, but I want y'all to listen to it anyway, and y'all make y'all judgment, and then we'll continue.
Why do jinn possess people? It's important to note that jinn possession is a reality. There are those who deny it. However, it has been agreed upon by the consensus of the scholars, and it's something that can be sensed as well. So, jinn possess people for 3 main reasons. Number 1, out of love. Number 1, out of love. So, jinn, they fall in love with people. And this is extremely important for our sisters especially. So for example, you're leaving the house and you're not wearing the correct hijab. You're not properly covered. Or you are wearing a lot of makeup and you have beautified yourself and you're leaving the home. Then don't forget that there are other creations besides men. There are men who are going to look at you. But at the same time, a jinn may fall in love with you. And this is something very, very common. I had a case where a jinn had possessed a sister. She was waiting at the bus stop and the jinn fell in love with her. She was walking through a park and the jinn followed her. She was waiting at the bus stop and the jinn fell in love with her. And it actually possessed her. And when they fall in love, they're very, very difficult to remove because their love is like almost a blind type of love. It's like, I would rather die than leave this individual.
Okay, now I know y'all just heard that crazy talk. It's crazy to me. I mean, I don't know how some of you might be thinking about this right now, but he said in the beginning of the video that there were three things, three reasons why jinn possess people. But the video wasn't long enough, and I'm going to find the next part of that video, and I'm going to put it in the link because I know I had it. But he said there was three reasons why jinn possess people. And he started off with the number one reason. He said, out of love. Okay. And he went on to say that a jinn, he knew a woman, that a jinn possessed her at a bus stop. Now, this is the thing. When I saw the complete video, I did see the complete video. He didn't leave any medical references, any references of anything where this is documented with doctors, anywhere in the world. This is just a religious belief. And this is the point of me making this video, to show you how ridiculous these people are. And I'm going to link a lot of the videos of jinn possession. Oh, man, it's so many weird videos with these Muslims. Even the TV show, two Muslims were talking about the Quran, and they said a jinn interrupted the show. I mean, these people are weird, man. I don't know. And I always ask myself this question, many years now that I've been atheist. I still have to go back and ask myself, how in the hell did I even once become a victim of these particular beliefs? It's amazing, man, that people would believe in these things. And it's just, oh man, it's a pure testament of the strongest cognitive dissonance ever, man. So, I mean, knowing the history of the jinn, and I'm going to put, I'm going to also put in encyclopedia links of jinn and how it was basically formed and how these beliefs got into the Quran. But the thing about it, this Muhammad, whoever this Muhammad was, as I've made clear before, he stole Christian concepts. He stole things, stories from the infancy gospels of Christ, which the church, even the Christian church, didn't even accept as divine books, or didn't accept it all in their canon. They looked at these books as far as books like the Proto-Evangelium of James, the Gospel of Thomas, and there's so many other particular what they call apocryphal writings, Christian apocryphal writings. So many that they didn't accept into the canon. But during the time of Prophet Muhammad and before Prophet Muhammad, even pre-Islamic era, we're talking the 5th century and 4th century pre-Islamic era of Arabia, these people knew of these particular things. And they also had their own mythological things that came from other ancient Arabian sources. So the jinn became something that came, not only was it already a mythical folklore within pre-Islamic Arabian, the pre-Islamic Arabian Peninsula history, but it also became intertwined with what they call the divine revelation to Prophet Muhammad. Now, this is the point I basically wanted to make. And this happens with Christianity. It happens with every religion. Myth is the starting point. It is the breeding point for all of these religions. Even when you look at the Bible, when you look at things like Noah's flood that we've all went over, Aaron Ra has done probably the best job on showing the mythological strong points of Noah's flood and how it's just not something that intelligent people should accept as fact. But so many Christians accept it as fact. As a matter of fact, before I continue, I haven't even. I apologize. I almost forgot to thank all of my new subscribers and old subscribers. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos. But what I was about to say was, I'm in a group now. It's Facebook. It's called the Naked Bible Group. It's basically, it's just a continuation group on Facebook from Dr. Mike Heiser's particular group that he has anywhere online. And I'm really having fun in this particular group called the Naked Bible Group. And the cognitive dissonance is very strong. I put up a post. I just really been putting up light posts in this particular group just to see what type of reaction I'm getting. I'm getting the reactions that I thought that I would get from Christians who suffer from strong doses of cognitive dissonance. As far as the archaeological points of the Bible, and I'm not even done with these people in this group. I'm just having fun with them. I'm actually doing a test. And the thing about it, every religious group, the point I want to make, every religious group, whether it's Christian or Islam or Judaism, Jehovah's Witness, even the branches of Christianity, or even the branches of Islam, when you talk to a Shiite, or you talk to a particular Orthodox Muslim, or you talk to one of the other Muslim groups, or you talk to Ishmaeli, all of these particular people, different groups, splinter groups, or whatever you want to call them, everybody thinks that what they have is the absolute truth. And this is something that, even when you talk to a young earth creationist versus an old earth creationist, the old earth creationists will say, yeah, the young earth creationists, they deny science. They do this, they do that. But the old earth creationists think that they have the truth. They say, well, yeah, we know the young earth creationists, you know, is throwed off a little bit. We know that they're not on point, but we're on point. And see, this is a strong problem that theists need to face. Because even as atheists, the first thing they always say, well, atheists, they always look at our things wrong. They always try to outline our truths with confirmation bias. And we don't do that. One thing that must be known, most atheists were theists. So the confirmation bias is not really as strong on our side as on your side, Mr. Theist, because we actually engulfed, most of us was engulfed in this same belief, whether it was Islam, whether it was Christianity, Catholicism. Most of us come from these backgrounds. Young earth creationism, apologias. A few of us is on YouTube now. They even come from Catholic background. Young earth creationists are now atheists. So we come from all of these backgrounds. It's most of us, I can say, were not brought up in an atheist household, especially if we were born in the 80s, 70s, or 80s. Even some of the younger guys that were born in the 90s or late 80s. Most of these guys grew up with theist parents. So I would say that probably 85% of us, or 90% of us, grew up in a theistic Christian, mostly in this country, who grew up in a Christian household. So for a lot of the baggage comments that I get, folks, you don't understand, or you don't understand how Jesus loves us, or you don't know how God works, or how He thinks, or you are carnal minded. All of these things that you're throwing at us, we have already heard these things because we used to believe the same thing you believe. We believe that a invisible God loved us, that He cared for us, that he did all of these things behind the scenes. We believed in the nonsense of the Adam and Eve story. We believed in the nonsense of Noah's flood. We believed in the nonsense of a devil. We believed in the nonsense of prayer, even though it doesn't work. We believed in all these things that you believe in. So it's not really a good argument for theists to throw at us. And that's why I love these groups. I'm like a lone wolf in these groups. I don't mind being in Christian groups and actually having a dialogue with them, because it's not a debate. Because a lot of them probably won't debate you, wouldn't debate me in a real formal way. But in these groups, they like to gang up, and I really enjoy that. But the thing about Islam is the same thing that we see in Christianity. The myths. A Muslim, if you sit right now, you talk to a Muslim, and you say, do you believe in a jinn? Or do you believe in jinn possession? Yes, they believe in jinn possession. Okay. And if I ask you, Mr. Muslim, can you show me evidence that jinn possession works? Well, it's in the Quran. Because if you notice that this guy in the beginning of this video, the first thing he said that most people don't believe that jinns are reality. Christians definitely don't believe in jinns. And it's funny, just Muslims believe in jinns. Catholics don't believe in jinns, but they believe in other mythical things. that all equates to fairies. Okay, but the thing about it is, if you ask the Muslim, can he prove this? Of course they can't prove it. But the first thing that this guy said in the beginning of his video, he said that it is a consensus, and this is the main point I wanted to make. He said it was a consensus of the scholars, and coming from him, he means Islamic scholars. He said it was the consensus of the scholars to say that jinns are real. So he didn't say that we had evidence that jinns are reality. He did say that jinns are reality. He said, but it has been the consensus of the Islamic scholars that jinns are reality. So in other words, this is why we believe it. And see, this is another thing. This is the point I wanted to make. When we're dealing with scholarship, and this is why I attack scholarship of Christianity, I attack the scholarship of Islam. All of these scholars are protecting what they believe. All of them are biased towards the garbage that is in their religion. The same thing with all of these Christian scholars. This is why I have a lot of Christian scholars on my friend page and Facebook. And I post things and I challenge a lot of things because Christian scholars hold a lot of garbage to a certain standard. Certain things that they know, and I know they know these things are not right, but they twist it. Like the point that I made, probably several months ago about Jesus' birth, the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke, and the contradictions of history. A lot of people try to stay away from that. But the scholars that do actually try to tackle it, they make up all the excuses that you know is not right, and they know they're not right because they know they can't show to these things. Matter of fact, I'm going to do another video on that. But I just wanted to particularly touch on the myth of Quran, the Jinn. And I ask any Muslim scholar, or whoever you want to be, can you prove that jinns exist? Or do I have to be Muslim to be possessed by a jinn? Because I've never heard a Christian saying they're possessed by a jinn. Or, Mr. Muslim, is the demon possession of the Catholic Church the same as a jinn? I mean, can you like correlate? Are these things the same? Why is the jinn just in the Islamic world and not everywhere else? So I would like for any Muslim to answer these questions. Can they prove the existence of jinns, or is it something you just believe because it's in the Quran? So I challenge any Muslim on that. And also I want to ask this other question. Are there any medical records, peer-reviewed, anything you can find me that is peer-reviewed, that Muslim sisters or anybody, or Muslim men, have actually been possessed by a jinn, and that these particular doctors or whoever actually know that the jinn was out of them once they did their whatever the hell they did to get a jinn out of your body? I don't know what you do. In a couple of videos I'm going to put in the video, they're just reading certain surahs, Surah 113, Falak, and things like that, which is legend in Islam to protect you from spells and all of this ancient mythical things. So I just pose these questions to any Muslim that would like to take on this particular challenge. Can you prove the existence of jinns? I'm not going to even ask you about Allah. Okay, we're not going to even worry about Allah and if Prophet Muhammad actually got some real divine revelation from this Allah. We're not going to worry about that. Just can you prove the existence of jinns? And if anybody want to hit me up on that, come with some real links we can show and prove. I even debated. If any Muslim out there want to debate the existence of jinns or why you think jinns are real and you can prove it, then I would actually love to have that discussion anytime. So once again, like I said, I'm going to put some more links. It's so many jinn videos from Muslims, and I want y'all to just look at these videos and tell me what y'all think. I wasn't going to splice this particular video with all of that. It was too much. So I'm going to put a lot of these other videos in the bottom of the link. So once again, man, thanks for tuning in to the Emperor Atheist channel. Once again, thanks to all my new subscribers, all of my old subscribers. Thanks to all of my likes and shares. I really do appreciate the love. I also appreciate some people who've actually given to my Patreon. I thank you. I love the donations. I need them. Thank you a lot, because I'm actually want to grow this channel. I want to grow not just this channel, but other different things that we're trying to do as far as normalizing atheism. I'm trying to go much broader than just YouTube and talking on YouTube. And I want to do more things as far as travel and debating, opening up different things different shelters for people who are questioning their religion. I want to do a lot of different things. So me and a lot of other people, we have a think tank going on. Things we actually want to do outside of YouTube, things that and outside of any social network, Facebook or whatever. So like I said, thanks for the donations on my Patreon. Thanks for all my likes and my shares. I'm Atheist. I'm out. Peace.
I pull my wand out and put the